The Kansas City Chiefs are a perfect 9-0, but that streak is coming to an end Sunday at the hands of the Buffalo Bills. Stevie, based off of what you're wearing, it looks like you're with me.
I'm ready for the game, just like Josh Allen is. I'm looking forward to a legacy game from Josh. So let's get it.
And the Bills might need Stevie Johnson in the lineup the way the injuries are piling up at receiver. We know Keon Coleman's not playing, Dalton Kincaid, Amari Cooper, question marks. But I am so excited for this game. And frankly, the number one thing on my mind ahead of it, how is this not on Sunday Night Football? And I know the answer, the network, CBS, ESPN, whatever. But this is a marquee game. This is the marquee game of the season. Tekeyah, please explain to me how this game isn't a standalone primetime spectacular.
No, it should be. It should be a revenge game. It's like game of the year, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be one of the best games of the year. I mean, these two teams changed rules in the league. Like, this is the game of the year.
Welcome into Broken Table ahead of Week 11. The Bills and the Chiefs. Aaron Korolnek, Tekeyah Singh, Chris Hein, Stevie Johnson. Bills, Chiefs. The Bills 2.5-point favorites in this one, which did raise some eyebrows around the NFL because Kansas City has an underdog. Mahomes 11-1-1 in his last 13. But I'm totally with Stevie here. The Bills are positioned very well against Kansas City, a team that seemingly escapes with victories in mind-boggling fashion week after week, whether it's block kicks or penalties or toenails in the case of week 1 against Baltimore. I'm not sure how they're going to do it this week, Stevie, but I think they've gone Neo in the Matrix long enough, dodging bullets. This could very well be the end for the Chiefs.
Yeah, excellent reference. They've definitely been dodging bullets, but they've been managing it. You know, they've been managing to win games, you know, each week, you know, which led them to an undefeated record right now. But I feel like Josh Allen is laser focused on this game. You know, I think this is not something that he's going to look over as just it's a regular season game going against Pat Mahomes. Nah, he understands that this is a legacy game for him, and this can propel him in that MVP talk.
So we're talking about the receiver problems, Chris, and Keon Coleman. We know he's out. Maybe Kincaid plays.
It seems like Cooper. I feel like Cooper will play. He was limited in practice Wednesday.
He's limited, and we know what Khalil Shakir can do. He's going to have a big role. Dawson Knox perhaps as well. Is this a James Cook game on the ground? How do the Buffalo Bills try to match what Kansas City does offensively without perhaps some of their top receivers?
Josh Allen game.
I'm with Tekeyah. This is a Josh Allen game. I think because KC is top 3 in the NFL in terms of rush yards allowed per game and yards per carry. So no one in the NFL can really run on this team. And Josh Allen, you look at Josh Allen's stats, career against KC, everybody obviously remembers the 13 seconds game, maybe the most fun football game like these eyes have ever seen. But like, let's look at him. 257.2 pass yards a game against the Chiefs, 56.1 rush yards, 20 total touchdowns, 16 pass, 4 rush, and only 3 interceptions. Josh is at his absolute best against the Chiefs. And I think we're going to need a big game from Josh in order for Buffalo to beat Kansas
I think this
City.
is the problem, though. This is the problem, that the offense is always stepping up and the defense keeps letting us down against the Chiefs with 13 seconds. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How do you let that happen?
Statistically as well, I did see 21 points per game allowed in wins for the Buffalo Bills against Kansas City, 36 points per game in losses. When it comes to the defensive side of the ball, Stevie, I mean, slowing down Mahomes, a rejuvenated Travis Kelce, DeAndre Hopkins, who continues to shove it in my face when I said he was washed up. I'm pretty sure he heard Broken Table that week. He's like, wow, that Aaron guy is an idiot. I'm going to be putting up a ton of yards and tutties here. But slowing down the Chiefs, what's your level of concern with regards to Buffalo and their ability to do so?
Well, you know, I'm not really concerned. I feel like we can match up against this Kansas City Chief team, you know, but at the same time, I feel like the Buffalo Bills have to be different. You know, when I say different, you got to think outside the box. You know, if you put a guy, let's say Dorian Williams, on Travis Kelce, if you just line him up regularly 5 yards away or 6 yards away with some type of leverage, Kelce's already a step ahead, just thinking from a, you know, player's perspective. And Mahomes understands that he could just get the ball out and then Kelce can fall forward for 6 or 7 yards. Who knows if you add his space creator ability. So when I say being different, they need to line up close and like dang near bump and run with Kelce just to eliminate that extended handoff from Mahomes to Kelce, and that'll slow that Chiefs offense down for sure.
I'd honestly be fine if we're seeing Taron Johnson just following Kelce around and then have a little safety bracket to help on the double team. I think you can trust Benford and Rasul Douglas to like play single coverage on the other Chiefs' weapons and kind of just focus on taking Kelsey away and have Taron Johnson kind of take that assignment himself.
Yeah, Kelsey obviously a concern, and it's amazing to think back to the early parts of the season where we're wondering, is Travis Kelsey washed up? Should he retire? And of course, he has reemerged as the preeminent pass-catching tight end, as we probably should have expected. The DeAndre Hopkins part of the equation, though, has to be a concern because DeAndre Hopkins, since joining the Kansas City Chiefs, looks really, really good.
Yep.
And you almost knew it was going to happen. I mean, in the wasteland that is Tennessee with Will Levis and Mason Rudolph getting out of there and joining the Chiefs. But them adding Hopkins, again, I think Tennessee should be banished from the league for doing that. And allowing the Chiefs to get him was an unspeakable crime that Kansas City should have, or that Tennessee should have to pay for. But Hopkins concerns me.
Hopkins is a threat. He's a threat for sure and a big play guy. But I think our guys are seasoned and experienced in that backfield from Rasul to Christian Benford. Even if you wanted to put Kyer Elam in just for that physicality touch, that's what you have to do. You got to use defense by committee, just like we've been hearing everybody eats on offense. It's got to be a defense by committee and offense by committee when it comes to beating an undefeated team like the Kansas City Chiefs.
One interesting thing to me, which is a trend we could see in this game, the Chiefs lead the NFL in drives per game, 6.8 drives per game. They lead the NFL in 10-plus play drives and third down conversions. So you have a team that will nickel and dime you down the field going up against a defense who will also let you nickel and dime down the field and sort of bend but don't break. So this could be just long possessions from both teams, and maybe the under is something that should be looked at from a betting perspective, and the total's going up, but like because of the Bills defense will let you do that, and the Chiefs offense wants to do that.
I think we all think back to the 13 seconds. They were 42-36.
Yes, 42-36, exactly.
Gabe Davis, 4 touchdowns, and we think about these two teams in the offensive explosions. But
they didn't get physical. They wasn't physical in that 13 seconds. They just let them run off the line. That's what I'm saying. You got to be different.
No, and that's it. But I'm with you, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Both these teams are able to sustain long drives, and we know their ability to score, but I think both offenses at this point in time, whether it's injuries or age, aren't exactly as explosive as they used to be. And we consider what the Bills had a couple years ago in that 13 seconds game, even in the playoffs last year where they went over 50, I think it was 27-24 final in the divisional round last year. I'm not sure these two teams are equipped right now offensively, and especially on the defensive side of the ball, I think almost the staples, as crazy as it is to say, the Bills' defense has been really good here for a while now. And the Chiefs as well. Chris mentioned their ability to stop the run. You could see perhaps a grinded out, low-scoring game, Tekeyah.
I agree. I mean, I think to Hein's point, the Chiefs are playing yard-by-yard football. They're long possessions, and they haven't blown out anybody. And the Bills have had a few blowouts. The Chiefs haven't blown out anybody. They just possess the ball and find ways to win. And they keep it out of the opponent's hand. I feel like that's the kind of football we're seeing and probably what we'll see.
To Tekeyah's point, 7 of their 9 wins have been by possession.
Plus 58-point differential. They're 9-0.
Yeah.
The worst point differential 9-0 team in NFL history, I think.
The worst 9-0 team in NFL history. What an indictment.
Clip it. Put it on social. But that's the thing, though. Is this a team? And I can't believe I'm saying this. Please don't clip me. Chiefs social media, don't watch this and take this and make me eat this later.
Cold takes exposed.
Is this a team that's a bit fugazi because of that? Or is it a team that just knows how to win? And Stevie, I think you think it's the latter.
Yeah, I'm with the latter, man, because just thinking about last year, when they went to the Super Bowl, it was like, okay, the 49ers are going to be winning, but if they give the ball to the Chiefs at the end, or if they allow them to somehow get the ball at the end, they're going to do what they do. And they've seen it at the highest of high levels. So, I don't think they're really have a sense of urgency to be really blowing teams out when they know they can just get it done. And I won't want to say preserve themselves because this is the NFL, but, they can control the game and they understand how to. So I think they ride that wave and they're going to continue to do that, preserve their energy until they need to turn it up a notch in the playoffs,
So the Chiefs have won 15 straight games as a whole.
Christmas
was
the
their last, and they were underdogs 5 times in that span.
And that's 8 straight road games. They're underdogs in Buffalo, and we know how important this game is in the AFC playoff picture, right? They're the number 1 seed, and say what you will about what happened last year in Buffalo. The previous 2 losses for the Bills against Kansas City in the playoffs happened at Arrowhead. The Bills don't want to go to Kansas City in the playoffs. They want the run through at home. all the way to the Super Bowl, all the way to New Orleans. And if they want to do that, they essentially have to win this week because, of course, the tiebreak would go to Kansas City. Kansas City would be at 10 wins. The Bills would be stuck at 8-3. It's essentially a must win if the Bills want to win the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah.
I'll say this. The Bills probably, even if they do win, is going to be really hard to catch the number 1 seed because the Bills still got to go to Detroit. The Bills still have the Niners coming to Buffalo on a Sunday night. Like the Bills' schedule to close the year is pretty tough. Whereas I think KC plays 2 winning teams. I think they play the Chargers and the Steelers. And I feel like I might have jinxed it because before that field goal last week, I sent texts out to my Bills friends and said, next week's for the 1 seed. And then 20 seconds later, I looked like an idiot, and that field goal was blocked.
That was all because of you.
I think that offensive lineman who just got bullied by Leo Chenal was the guy who's looked like an idiot more so than anything. I still can't believe that a 35-yarder by the Denver kicker was blocked.
It has like a 94% probability of hitting that field goal.
Man, I was watching that too, and I'm thinking, wow, here we go. Sunday afternoon in Buffalo, the Bills for the 1 seed, and then the Chiefs find a way to squeak it out.
I need to know what juju voodoo the Chiefs have on them. That's something because it's crazy.
It really is something. But as far as the Bills go in the AFC East, we know that division is over. The Bills have clinched that. Really, the pursuit is in the conference is the Kansas City Chiefs. And we've talked about it, the plus 58-point differential, the Chiefs not blowing teams out by any stretch. A team like the Chargers could beat the Chiefs. A team like the Steelers could beat the Chiefs. I think anybody, Denver almost... Denver's did beat the Chiefs. There's voodoo here with the Denver Broncos and Will Lutz and the kicker. I would have given it a half win here for the Broncos.
We mentioned it. They're playing all those 1 possession games, but they're also coming from behind. And it's like Stevie answered it when I asked him. It's like, this is a team where if you have Mahomes with the ball down in the 4th quarter, open that FanDuel app and whatever number you're getting Chiefs money line, just bet it because 9 times out of 10 you're gonna hit.
Yes, facts. And I feel like, that's where the you have to be different. I'm going to keep circling back to that because I'm just hoping just how D-Hop was listening to you, AK. I hope the Mafia and Coach Babbage listen to me. You have to be different. Line somebody up over Kelsey and have them bumping and jamming them and then get to your job and maybe send them off to somebody else. But that will definitely confuse Pat Mahomes because he's taking those phantom yards from us, the yards where you don't account for, where you think they're getting into your route. He's taking them. He's taking those yards. So be on the lookout for that when we watch this game. Seeing those phantom yards that Mahomes and Kelsey take advantage of.
We talked about how it could be a Josh Allen game, and of course Josh Allen's going to have to throw the ball to somebody. We know how the Bills' skill position players are compromised a little bit. Stevie, is there somebody who you're looking at? Maybe it's a receiver, a back that might have more of an impact than we would have expected before the game begins.
Well, I'm actually looking at at our tight end room. I'm looking at Dawson Knox. Last week he had 2 catches for 40 yards. I think he can do more. I think they can feed him a little more. And I think this is one of those weeks where maybe they got some inspiration from playing against the Kansas City Chiefs and watching Kelsey and Mahomes. So maybe we'll get them a little more involved. Plus, it was Knox's birthday. So
nice.
Happy birthday to him. Maybe a big game coming from our tight ends room.
Well, and honestly, that's a sneaky good prop to look at, especially if Kincaid isn't playing. You'll probably get Knox yards. There's nothing out now because of the injury report. It's probably going to be real low, like around the 20s. So that might be a nice little bet to hop on. I'm a little worried with no Keon Coleman because we've seen what can happen. We've seen how good the offense looks when everybody's in their proper place. And I know Amari Cooper was a limited participant in practice Wednesday, but that was the same case last week and he didn't play. I hope that they were just holding him out so they can have him for this week. If Cooper's out too, then it could be tough sledding for the offense. And this might be one of those Josh Superman games where we need him to put the cape on and kind of do everything.
Well, Curtis Samuel was a big free agent acquisition. Yep. This would be a nice time for him.
He woke up last week.
He did. Well, that's exactly it. Mac Hollins as well. You're going to need the depth in the receiver room to step up in these adverse circumstances. What is a shame, though, with Coleman, Xavier Worthy on the other side, the 28th pick. Talk about narrative, Stevie, with Dawson Knox on his birthday. I'm sure Xavier Worthy is going to be like, you traded that pick back. Interesting. Could have had me, Buffalo. Instead, I'm in here in Kansas City. I'm feeling very good about myself, and I'm sure Coleman would have loved on the other side. Oh, you didn't draft me. Just opted for Xavier Worthy. Okay, I'm going to stick it to you. So I know athletes, and I'm sure you feel the same way, remember who passed on them in the draft. And or who traded down the pick to not take them in the draft. In this case, Any memories of your own, Stevie? Maybe you thought you were going somewhere, and you're like, "Oh, okay, wow, well, New England Patriots."
Everybody passed up on me. Everybody passed up on me. Hey, 224 picks. I think it's like 250, maybe 54. Yeah, man. At the end of the day, for my story, yeah, I had to attack everybody because everybody passed.
I love that. I love it. That's even better. When you hate everybody, it's easy to get motivated every week.
It's kind of like how Amon-Ra names all of the receivers. If Stevie were to try to do that, it'd take some time before each game.
Guaranteed, Stevie was a lot better than a lot of the guys that went ahead of him. There's no doubt about
Honestly,
that.
I'm pissed that Keon Coleman's out because all I've heard from Chiefs fans all year is, "Oh, you guys are dumb. How you let us get this guy?" And it's like Keon Coleman has been a better flat-out receiver in every possible way than Xavier Worthy. It's like, cool, fancy gadget plays. He scored a touchdown week 1 when everybody was watching.
Yeah.
But Keon Coleman looks like arguably the best receiver in this class. Neighbors, Harrison, yes, they're good, but Keon Coleman's been unreal. And for him to not be able to play this game and kind of stick it to Worthy and the Chiefs fans, I'm a little disappointed in that.
Yeah, I agree there.
Same.
It is.
Definitely.
And I mean, for the game as a whole, too, having Coleman, his ability to stretch the field, his being a red zone presence.
His yards after him and Shakir, I think, are 2nd and 3rd in the NFL in yards after the catch.
Yeah, that's a big loss for the Bills. And I would be very curious to see a full, healthy season of Keon Coleman, which we'll see in the years to come, what type of numbers he could put up. You mentioned guys like Marvin Harrison, who's the #1 option in Arizona, Malik Neighbors, who doesn't have a quarterback throwing in the ball with the Giants, but still somehow puts up numbers. Josh Allen are a real #1 option for Coleman, which I think in the future, I think you could see potentially Stevie Johnson 2.0
Yeah.
for Keon Coleman.
Man, even more. I'm going with Andre Reed.
Oh,
man.
all right. I love that.
Legendary, especially compared, like you said, with a number 1 overall quarterback, as argued to be one of the best in the entire NFL. That's chemistry. That's what Amon-Ra St. Brown, I heard you speak his name. That's what him and Jared Goff is building right now. So this is a special connection with Keon and Josh. And I'm glad that they can communicate the way they did, like the Seattle games. Those are things that they can store and understand that they can trust each other. So yeah, like you said, AK, man, for years to come, this is gonna be something special.
Now, speaking of something special and looking at the past, and we've talked about it a lot, Mahomes and Allen is always something special. We've seen it now 7 times. Bills are 3-4. They've won 3 regular season games, obviously 0-3 in the playoffs. But when I look at Allen and Mahomes, it takes me back to Manning and Brady. And so, Stevie, is Mahomes and Allen the new Manning and Brady of this generation?
When you talk about being GOATs and being greats, yes, I definitely feel like that's some great comparisons. But then when I look more into it, thinking about the AFC, and then you think about MVPs really starting to, fit who is who, then I would think, okay, Manning is kind of like a Mahomes. He had MVPs, won a championship, but Phillip Rivers was also making his name, putting up stats, doing his thing with the Chargers. He didn't have no MVPs just yet. So I kind of, moved towards Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning, as opposed to Manning and Brady. If that makes any sense.
Well, I guess Mahomes would be the closest comp of active quarterbacks to Tom Brady. I mean, just the way that he wins, the consistency, the MVPs.
I think he's honestly a combo of both of Manning and Brady, because he has the statistical super seasons in the regular season that Manning has, but then has the playoff resume that Brady has. Or sorry, that Brady has.
It's funny. Tekeyah mentioned Joe Burrow, and I'm totally with you. That was the first name that came to mind when you brought up the question, because again, in the playoffs, Josh Allen is 0-3 against Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow has fared very well against Mahomes, Allen in the playoffs.
And Tekeyah touched on it before. Look at Josh's numbers. Josh Allen has given his team a lead or tied against the Chiefs late in games. Like, what's Josh Allen supposed to do with 13 seconds? He literally did everything.
Very fair.
You're right.
He's not coaching special teams, and he's not playing defense, and he's not a defensive coordinator.
So do you want to debate if quarterbacks are a win stat? Or deserve the wins and loss record for quarterbacks?
When it comes to me defending Josh Allen,
yes. Then yes. In that particular circumstance.
In that instance for playoffs, quarterbacks are not a win stat.
Okay, I have a question, because we've talked about both quarterbacks' playoff resumes. For this game and this game only, which quarterback would you rather have just for this game, Stevie?
You know what? I'm going to take Josh Allen. Josh Allen's been dominant. He's been legendary, and he's been super locked in regular season games. And I'm just thinking about the supporting cast. That's why I got my jersey on, because I'm ready to help him out. Let's go, Josh.
His numbers are better if you look at his numbers.
I will say this. For this game, a regular season game, I will take Josh Allen. Last 3 regular season games against the Chiefs, the Bills are 3-0. Last 3 playoff games against the Chiefs, the Bills are 0-3. You didn't ask me about a playoff game.
I didn't.
And I'm not going to, I've been stupid enough to bet against Mahomes in the playoffs before, but for this game and this game only, I think it's Josh Allen.
Am I going to be the only person who takes Patrick Mahomes?
Most likely.
One of the great players. I am going to take Patrick Mahomes. And I understand it's a regular season game. I'm sorry, Stevie. But it's a huge regular season game for both the Bills and for the Chiefs. This is not week 2 or week 5. This is prime time for the Chiefs and for the Buffalo Bills. And frankly, you look at the respective offenses, who's healthier? Right now, that's Kansas City. I think his weapons are better right now in the Chiefs. And I think I would lean Mahomes by a nose.
Well, Tekeyah, it was your fantastic question. Who you got?
Josh Allen. I mean, I don't know if it really, his numbers are better. He has more passing yards. He has less interceptions, more touchdowns, better QBR, but it's a team sport. So does it really matter? I'm still going Josh.
But Coach Tekeyah, put me in.
Yeah.
Put me in.
Well, and I think we also need to acknowledge the fact that Josh Allen is playing as well, if not better, than he ever has in his NFL career. And he deserves a ton of kudos. And on the other side, Mahomes, the numbers aren't even comparable to some of his best statistical seasons, except one number, and that's winning.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs do it better than anybody else. And you can debate, are wins a quarterback stat?
It's so ugly the way they win.
It is very ugly the way they win, but you can't tell me on 3rd and 7 in a close game in the 4th quarter you'd have anyone else than Patrick Mahomes, regardless of the situation. For that reason, I would lean him over Allen.
The only other person that you would want, though, is Allen. So that's why I'm so excited for this game. But here's what I'm wondering. Say the Chiefs beat the Bills, which very well could happen. This is a coin flip game. Looking at that Chiefs schedule, it is not very good. Are the Chiefs going to run the table? Let's just say this. If the Chiefs win Sunday, are they running the table and going undefeated?
So I can run you through the schedule. At Carolina, Vegas, the Chargers, the Browns, the Texans, the Steelers, the Broncos. Not a murderer's row of opponents. In fact, only a couple of those teams will be in the playoffs. That being said,
where's the Texans game at?
Yeah, the Texans game is in Kansas City.
And I think they're at Pittsburgh too.
And they are at Pittsburgh, you're right. But you don't just reel off 8 straight wins to end the season. I don't care who you are. They have won a number of these games by the skin of their teeth. Yeah. What kind of saying is skin of your teeth anyways? A very odd and frankly gross saying that should never be uttered again. But
I'm sure it is accurate. Urban Dictionary to make sure you don't have to cut it.
No, it's good. It's good. I've heard it before. I've heard it elsewhere. But they're not going to run the table. They'll lose a couple of games, perhaps including Sundays against Buffalo.
What about you, Stevie? If the Chiefs win Sunday, you think they go undefeated?
If the Chiefs win Sunday, I think their next challenge will be in Pittsburgh against that Mike Tomlin, Russ Wilson team. You know, I think that's going to be their next challenge. And then it depends on how they want to come at those Denver Broncos, who almost or should have beat them last week.
2 huge AFC games on Sunday, right? You have Bills Chiefs and you have Steelers taking on the Baltimore Ravens. And I mean, both of these games are crucial. And of course, the Chiefs and the Bills don't play in the same division, but of course, they're in the same conference, vying for the same thing in the one seed.
It's a rivalry. This is still Chiefs week. This is Chiefs week.
Sure,
that's usually a division thing, but
yeah, and I think this rivalry is just as strong as any divisional rivalry because these teams have the playoff matchups in the past, the incredible moments, the wild occurrences that have happened in years
the way the schedule works too, where first place teams play each other. They play each other in the regular season all the time. And I made the Manning-Brady comparison before, but it's very similar to Colts-Pats as well.
All right, Chris, you were hitting the streets earlier today. You ran into a bunch of Taylor Swift fans as Taylor Swift mania has embarked here in Toronto.
The city has a buzz to it because of this Taylor Swift concert, and FanDuel has a market on this too. We're probably going to see Taylor Swift Sunday.
Oh, for sure.
I will be in the same building as Taylor Swift on Sunday.
No, she will be in the same building as you.
But yeah, we took the streets.
It's a good buzz, though. It's a good buzz. It's a good buzz to have the Swifties around.
For sure.
I like the music.
And honestly, it really helps when doing streeters. Not as good as last week because I don't think anything will top that guy dropping his burrito bowl. But yeah, here we go. The Swifties on the streets. Tell me when you're ready. Oh, come on. Oh, we're crossing the street. Here we go.
Do I keep it?
No, you got to throw it back. Woo. Oh, what a snag. We are on the streets of Toronto doing a little same game parlay for Chiefs Bills. Game of the season. The city's abuzz. The Swifties are in town.
Are you giving away tickets?
No. Are you a Taylor Swift fan?
Yes.
Okay, come chat. So
I'm literally in the queue right now.
Travis Kelce is going to Buffalo. Taylor will probably be there too. Do you think Taylor will be at the game Sunday?
I do.
Okay, so let's make a little same game parlay on FanDuel. So Travis Kelce, over or under receiving yards?
Over.
Okay, Travis Kelce's going to catch a touchdown.
No.
No.
Yeah, wait, yes.
With Taylor watching, you think he's at his best?
Yes.
Then who wins the game, Chiefs or Bills?
Bills.
Wow, you're going against your girl like that? I thought I was just getting a Swiftie here, but turns out we have a football fan who also happens to like Taylor Swift. All right, let's stay on this corner, man. Whoa. You guys ready to make a great catch? Who wants it? No, come on. Hey! There you go. First of all, who is your team?
Raiders.
Raiders. Oh, okay. So you hate Patrick Mahomes like I do?
I do, yeah. I despise him.
Nice. We're on the same page. Okay, so we're going to make a little same game parlay. Chiefs, Bills on FanDuel. Let's start with the game. Chiefs or Bills, who you got?
I got to take the Chiefs. Sorry.
How come?
On fire. They can't lose no matter how hard they try.
They should have lost last week to the Broncos.
Lost last week, got the field goal block. I'll take the over, though. I'll take the over. I mean, he's cooking.
Okay, now what about Josh Allen? Over or under on yards?
You know Josh Allen's going to match him. Going to try, so I'm going over.
This guy knows what's up. Okay, now, I don't know if you've looked around, but Taylor Swift's in town.
Yeah, I see.
She's probably going to be at the game.
Oh, yeah.
So Travis Kelce, is he going over or under his yards?
I'm going to take him under. He's distracted right now.
This guy wants Taylor Swift to be disappointed in Orchard Park, and then if he's going under, he's not going to catch a touchdown then, eh?
No way.
Other than the fact you got the Chiefs winning, I like all your props, so good luck with this.
Okay, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Good luck to your Bills.
Oh, you want it? Oh, what a terrible throw. Oh, I tried to lead you. Here you go.
Wait, I need my gloves off.
Oh, here we go. Look at that. How hyped are you for Sunday's game of the year?
Very hyped.
So we're going to make a little same game parlay on FanDuel. Let's start with the game. Who's winning, Chiefs or Bills?
Bills, of course.
Not even in doubt, right?
Not a question.
Let's just ask outside of the parlay. Who's a better quarterback, Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes?
That would be Joshy every single time.
Let's focus on Josh. Is he going to go over or under his pass yards?
We'll go over.
Okay, we got Allen over, and then what about his pass touchdowns, over or under? I think he throws a couple.
I'm sending it over.
What about Josh Allen rush yards? Let's just make this the all Allen parlay.
Over. Surprise.
Bills by a billion?
Yep, that's my final answer.
Tough week for yours truly when it comes to our best bets, but I mean, Stevie Johnson continues to roll. This man is a betting aficionado. You don't lose, Stevie.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I told my secret. I look at Tekeyah, I look at you, I look at Chris, and Davis give me some insight. So, I'm just looking at you guys work, and I'm just
what a teammate.
Marking.
What a great teammate Stevie Johnson
always deferring,
is.
Deferring. Stevie
lifting us up, just like as he said he was boys with the kickers last week.
That's right.
Now we're a part of that crew. We're the special
It's the
teams
truth.
unit, and Stevie's lifting us up.
Stevie, why don't you give us your best bet to kick it off?
Okay, yeah, my best bet, once again, I was watching the shows on TSN and YouTube, and it led me to the Buffalo Bills. They're back at home, back in Orchard Park, and Buffalo got the Bills Mafia behind them, and I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills over the Kansas City Chiefs. They say it's 2.5. I think we go win by, let's say a touchdown. I'll say a touchdown.
That's juicy parlay right there. I like that.
And you know what? Let's make that, our friends at FanDuel love it, an SGP Plus, because I'm also on that, and I'm going Josh Allen over pass yards. We talked about it before. Think, including playoffs, 257 pass yards per game. His number is low. It's like 233. I think there could be some fireworks, and Josh is we talked about the Chiefs running game. Josh is going to have to put the team on his back and carry him. So I'm going Josh Allen over 233.5 pass yards.
We talked last week about Anthony Richardson and him getting pulled from the lineup in Indianapolis. Well, Shane Steichen must have heard our conversation because Richardson is back, and Tekeyah, I am betting him plus 190 to score anytime. This was a number. Earlier in the season, plus 130, plus 140. He's back. He's healthy, and man, this guy will be motivated. Anything inside the 5, he will be carrying defenders on his back into the end zone. Anthony Richardson finds it, plus 190. Tekeyah?
I hope he doesn't get tired.
No, yeah, exactly. He's well rested now.
Fading the Jags defense has been the play, so I'm going. It's Detroit against the Jags. I'm going like you have Monty and Gibbs, who are probably the best running back duo in the league right now. I'm gonna go Gibbs. They kind of alternate. Gibbs didn't get one last week. So I think I'm gonna go Gibbs to find the end zone.
Sounds like 4 winners to me.
That definitely sounds like 4 winners.
You gotta package those up in a parlay and reap the benefits.
Bet them solo and bet them in the parlay. Stevie, what a week. Just cannot wait for Sunday. Why don't you close us out in style like you always do?
Yeah, so look, check this out, guys. Remember to be careful, but don't overthink, all right? Handle business, have fun, and repeat. One love from the Broken Table. Peace.